Hello, dear students. This is Professor Jag again, chapter 5. You know, the family is the most influential agent of socialization, right? And what we get from family is who we become, right? In terms of self identity, our values, the way we perceive other people, ourselves, stereotypes and labels that we suffer and that we also give to other people, right? But it's the family where it all starts. So let's discuss on issues and let's discuss on a sentiment known as anger today. Okay, this is chapter 5, conflict and conflict resolution is the title of this chapter. But central point to this chapter is anger. You know, now getting into the emotions, right? And how it affects the couple or the family, depending on how you think about it. Mr. and Miss Perfect. How do you find Mr. Perfect, ladies? And how do you find what are the right condiments to find Miss Perfect? You understand that between men and women there's a power imbalance. Mr. and Miss Perfect is so hard to find and maintain if unhappiness is fueled by anger. Ultimately, uncontrolled anger destroys the individual and also destroys the relationship and also destroys people around these two people, right? Family members and children are destroyed as well. Frustration leads into anger. It corrupts into anger. Understand that, right? You're frustrated, there's no control, it leads into anger. Now, there is a tolerance level that all people possess when it comes to being frustrated. The fact is that the more angry we get without resolving the issue, the lesser the tolerance to this emotion. Anger is an emotion you cannot get rid of by being angry at it, right? Okay, now here's a frustration test. See how you respond to this. How about holding your breath underwater? How about how about a voice sneezing during a flu? How about flies in your nose? I mean, these are just like testers, but just not for real, right? And we're just trying to have a fun time here. Just kind of try to make you laugh here, but just to think, your tolerance level. How tolerant are you? Happy couples, we have a little survey here. According to a national survey of married couples, the following were some of the findings. Happy couples are more able than unhappy couples to resolve their differences. Happy couples are able to understand each other when discussing the problems. They are able to feel at ease expressing their feelings to each other. They are able to reach consensus on ways to resolve their differences, and they are able to share responsibility for their problems. See, when you take responsibility, right, without having to argument and argue against what's so obvious, right? Even if you're not to blame, but you simply take responsibility, the other person respects you, couple or not. You get more respect than when you're trying to blame your partner. Couple conflict, it's something that I bet therapists would tell you a lot they have, and it's conflict that it has to do with disagreements on the best way to resolve the issue, dispute over unimportant issues, inability to resolve differences, the tendency to avoid conflict with their partners, inability to voice concerns or feelings about problems. This according to the same national survey, the same study as the previous slide, right? And so, moreover on conflict is inevitable, people, okay? You cannot, it's like that previous chapter we had a slide in it, there was this fact that you cannot not communicate. Well, the same thing here, you cannot not have conflict. I mean, you will have conflict. If you're inexperienced, you will have some conflict, and from on and on, time to time, conflict is going to emerge, right? Okay? Now, conflict is inevitable in any given intimate relationship. Well, I mean, we don't all agree 100%, right? It can be thought of as a process, right? And then I have some little process there that I want you to go ahead and take for your notes, right? So go ahead and copy this slide, take your notes and so on. But, I mean, from conflict to anger, I have a couple of myths here, popular myths about anger. One would be that anger is a beneficial emotion, right? Right, that's a myth, right? The belief that anger is caused by other people and not by you. The problem, everybody's to blame, but not you. Shoot at the stars. You'll go ahead and hit one. I mean, just blaming someone else, right? Managing stress and anger. Pursuers seek greater togetherness in a relationship. I mean, when you pursue to manage the anger, that is, right? These dancers, and these are the different ways, right? Blamers, overfunctioners, underfunctioners. I don't have a lot of time to go through each one of these, but likely I'm going to go ahead and ask you on the test, so make sure you take your notes for this one. Intimacy and conflict, going and connecting two chapters. You know, the chapter we had on intimacy, and then this chapter as well. Intimacy and the conflict are inextricably tied together. Anger keeps people from developing unhealthy dependencies on each other, right? Okay, what would experts such as family therapists say about resolving conflict in the troubled couple? Here are a couple of things they would go ahead and say, right? Family therapist, and of course these are the experts, right? Not the sociologist, and not the philosopher, not the political scientist, but you know, the therapist would go ahead and give you these 6 steps. You go ahead and go through them in your spare time, okay? Conflict resolution. There are different styles. It is important to resolve conflict again before it escalates into a major crisis. Therefore, here are some styles that experts discuss in analyzing crisis or conflict resolution. So, you know, I mean, we have several styles here. The competitive style, personal concerns at someone else's expense. I mean, you know, these are great, right? I mean, and of course, we don't have all the time in the world to go ahead and discuss each of these, you know. But you could go ahead and do those on your spare time and compare them with your text as well. Now, here in this slide, we just gonna kind of follow the labyrinth here, okay? People should observe certain conventions or rules for fair fighting when they are arguing. These rules, excuse me, make the argument safer and more likely to lead to a satisfactory conclusion. All the way to the suppression of anger can lead to loss of affection in a relationship. That's a fact, okay? So it's important for you to understand these facts and these notes all together. You know, again, anger is one of those emotions that you cannot get rid of it by, you know, being angry at it. You can't be angry at yourself for being an angry person. You rather look for a way to escape that double bind, right? I mean, you're going to be angry all the time. You're going to go ahead and get ill one day and still be angry, and then one day you're going to die and be angry, and all your life you're angry, right? So you have to go ahead and take it seriously as a heart attack, because anger does lead into heart attacks as well. I mean, I don't have the facts, but definitely it's not good for your heart. Anyways, thank you very much for your time. This is another lecture from Professor Jack, and hopefully you'll go ahead and be able to view me on the next lecture for the next chapter. Thank you. This is Jack. Bye.